In this video I'll be explaining and showing you guys how to do pretty basic stuff in SPSS using frequencies and descriptive statistics on this hypothetical dataset, which comes with SPSS version 20, just so that if you want to do it yourself it's readily available. The dataset that I'll be using is a hypothetical data file that concerns the contact list for a group of corporate computer sales representatives. Each contact is categorized by the department of the company in which they work and their company ranks. Also recorded are the amount of the last sale made, the time since the last sale, and the size of the contact's company. So to start off with, I'm just going to explain variable view as opposed to the data view. So because these are all categorical data, you would have to label them as such so that SPSS knows what the different numerical values actually represent, and so that you can read the output easily. So for the department category, I would have 5 labels: 1 development, 2 computer finances, 3 finance, 4 other, and 9 don't know. So 9 is pretty much missing data, but it still gives us pretty relevant information. And it's the same for every other category. The types of managerial positions that are available in the company and represented in the data, rank, and then size of the business. It doesn't really matter what the label is, it's just for you. It just matters that everything that's in that category has the same numerical value. Okay, so anyway, start the analysis. You go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and get frequencies. We go there. So depending on the variables that you want to analyze the frequencies of, you can just put them all in there or single one of them, but I'm just going to put them all in. Go into Statistics, click on here, and then you can actually choose what type of statistics you want SPSS to calculate and to have an output of. So for this one I'm just going to go for the mean, medium, mode, and some central tendencies, and you can go for the range, minimum, maximum. Standard deviation is always useful, percentiles, say 21st percentile, second, third, fifth, because why not? Quartiles, actually let's use quartiles instead of percentiles. Continue, charts. Now depending on what charts you want to use, that's the one you choose. Bar graphs are pretty easily viewable for frequencies, shows how much categories take up which percentage of the total. Bar charts are useful, histograms are useful as well, depending on the type of data, but for now we're just going to use pie charts and showing the percentages of the total categories, and then you go OK, and it'll do the output. These frequencies just tell you the distribution of the data for each category or each column of data that you have, and it's probably easier to read if you just do one variable at a time, but anything that you select for the output would be here, and such as the graphs and stuff, and it really just depends what you want to get from the data that you select and have SPSS calculate. But as you can see, like, what you want to have shown really depends a lot on the data, because looking at the pie charts for certain categories, they're really useful and they're quite telling, such as the frequency and or the percentage distribution of each category in the data for department and company rank. You can see which ranks are the most common in the data, and you can see which departments are the most commonly listed contacts, such as this is obviously computer services, followed closely, not very closely, but followed by development, finance, and then next one is missing, and then other is other. Okay. And company rank is also pretty easy to see, but as you go to amount of last sale, it's not really the best type of graph to show interesting and relevant data. This would be, I think a line graph would be better for this, because there's a lot of different points, so it's easier to track it. Same as time since last sale. And size of company is also pretty useful for pie graphs. But I got told by my supervisor that using pie graphs or pie charts, whatever, in academic work or publishing is not really the most recommended thing to do, but then the validity of that should be questioned as well. Okay, and now, well, that's pretty much frequencies. I'm going to go on to the descriptive statistics. Okay, so you go to descriptive statistics and then go descriptives. Again, you can analyze one or all of your categories of data. Doesn't really matter because they aren't cross-checked against each other. They are no independent variables. They are each individually analyzed and separate from one another. Okay, so when doing descriptive statistics, it's important to know what type of data you want to have descriptives about, because it would just measure the different types of values in the categories. So if we were measuring for department, it would just show the values between the different ranks, which is not really useful, because the mean rank would be 2, which would be computer services, which doesn't really make any sense. It's not really relevant. But for scale data, it is pretty relevant, such as the amount of last sale and the time since last sale. So again, you can choose what exactly you want SPSS to calculate, such as mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum of the data, the range of the data, variance, and kurtosis and skewness, which has got to do with the graphs of the graphs to show which is the correlation, and the display order you want it in. And also, if you want to save as standardized values as variables, this is so that if you want to compare these two ratio data against each other to see if one influences the other, or just to explore the relationship between them, then they will get saved as log data, which is standardized as 2 different new columns after the output has been done. I'll click it just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, but it's not really necessary. So here you can see the descriptive statistics about the amount of last sales and the time since last sale. So both have a n total number of 70 listed in the categories, and the amount of last sales minimum was 6 and the maximum was 776.5. So that's quite a large range between those, and the time since last sale, minimum 1, maximum 24, it's probably in months, so I assume it's quite a large range as well. But they have a mean average time since last sale of the total category of time since last sale of 8.84 months, and the mean amount of last sale was 55.4500. Don't know if that's in thousands or millions, but whatever. And then you can these statistics are often useful if you want to just describe central tendencies and the total amount and standard deviation and whatnot, kurtosis, skewness, as we saw. And then going back, here would be the z-scale, the standardized values of sale and time to compare them. So that would be for a different video. So yeah, that is descriptive stats and frequencies on SPSS version 20 using a hypothetical dataset. And I'll be making more videos soon.